I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. I will run this mayor's campaign based on feeding the hungry, and I will cure homelessness in this community and in New York when the first 100 days of my administration, should I get it. Clothing the naked, I'm not changing anything. And all I want are people who are selfless servants. If you think about yourself first, if you think about protecting you first, then you can't serve me. You're going to hate me because I'm going to be up here preaching, and you're going to think I'm after you. I'm just preaching what's right. You're the one that's cheating. You're the one that's wrong. Am I going to stop preaching because you professing cheating or lying, or you're selfish, you don't want to serve? So I want to ask you to stand, please. And Elder Salem, would you come up, Elder, is the chairman of our Manning for Mayor campaign. And I knew there must be some good reason this young man was in our church. He came here as a young boy and has grown up as a young man, taken one of my daughters, and he's got 2 children and a brilliant and a bright career. And I'm so delighted and honored to have him chair this effort of mine. He's just the man for the job. Yes, yeah. And so I want to present to you Elder Salem Flannery, who's going to present to you a rollout of our website. Give him a round of applause.
Peace and blessings. Thank you, Your Honor, for that introduction. So as he mentioned, I'm going to talk about the website today. But speaking of talents, before I jump into that, I must give respect and a shout out to the team that helped me put this site together. So starting with the creative team on the copywriting side, so that's all the folks who actually written the content that you see on the site. Joanna, my wife, Hallelujah, Elizabeth Lewis, thank you. As if it wasn't for you all, we wouldn't have a site to look at today. And the other half of the creative team on the design side, Sister Sabbath, and photography, Minister Williams, thank you. Your pictures are beautiful. And Sister Sabbath, your campaign art was the foundation for which we built everything off of, so thank you. So that being said, if the technicians can pull up the website, ManningForMayor.com, I'm actually going to step to the side so I can focus and direct as we walk through the website. All right, so starting from the top, and thank you, Elizabeth Lewis, for this statement that grants people when they actually come to the website. So, yes, so she's a great writer. So navigating the site to make it easily accessible, you'll notice we have the main navigation at the top, starting from the left. That will take you to the home page. Unwavering commitment, that will be pretty much, it illustrates a picture of Pastor's timeline, his commitment to the people. Policies is pretty self-explanatory, so there you'll be able to walk through all of our policy statements that you've heard Pastor talk about over the past few days. And then finally, contact. So basically just contacting through email, our general email, and then the press email. So we'll get into those details. I'm just going to walk you through the contents of the site. We'll look at the different sections of the site and pretty much take it from there. So if we scroll down, one of the things that I really like about this site is when you come here, you're introduced to that main campaign. So this is the art I talked about in which Sabbath created. So thank you again for that. And we have our campaign slogan, I will make the crooked places straight and make the crooks pay. And, and the wonderful photography from Minister Williams. So as we continue to scroll down, Here is where we get to meet Manning. So for those who may be familiar, it is a great refresher. For those who aren't, reading this bio here just paints a really nice picture of the pastor, his commitment to the community, and things that he's done throughout the years. And he's had a very storied history. I mean, starting from when he was born, and if we continue to scroll down, meeting notable people such as Bishop Desmond Tutu. So if we continue to scroll, we'll see that illustrated here. And so in the bio, as you read through that, you'll also notice we will have a call out. Well, there is a call out to what he's done to the school and education. So if we actually scroll back up, you'll notice in the copy that's in the red, you can scroll back up just a little bit right there. Yes. So in the call to action here, we talk a little bit about the things that Pastor has done from an educational standpoint. So the students he's graduated. And if you so choose, if you want to learn more about the curriculum in which the school was built on, you can click through the link there, which we'll jump into a little bit later on, and just gives you an overview of the MAC curriculum in which he built and educated the students in the school. So if we continue to scroll down past the bio, and again, another statement just to rest assured that if you elect Pastor as mayor, he's going to fight for you, similar to what he's done throughout the years for the people here in this community. And if we continue to scroll, so here is a nice high-level introduction to his policies, if you will. So think of these as his declaration. So in the role of New York City mayor, 1, he will raise the minimum wage to $27 an hour. Two, create a no-sales tax legislation on any food sales sold in New York City. 3, cure homelessness in the first 100 days. 4th, require no tax collection from underserved or low-income neighborhood stores pending qualifications. So your local bodegas and any other family-ran stores require no tax collection so those businesses can continue to operate and serve the community. Fifth, legislate a review of property sales, transfer, foreclosures, building permit loans, and tax incentives given to builders and developers in poor neighborhoods. So again, we're all familiar with the situation we've gone through here at the church, so it's giving that the power to the people and fighting for them against these corporations and real estate business owners that basically just come in here, grab the land through just basically criminal tax practices. And then lastly, create a new legislation for child custody and adoption agencies and reform the laws and courts that govern them. I mean, it's really no surprise how crooked a lot of these adoption agencies are, and also make it hard for children to find decent homes. And so when Pastor is elected mayor, he will stand on trying to straighten that crooked mess. All right. And so if you're wondering about the policies, we just took a high-level look, but as we dive deeper into those policies, this part of the site just gives you a nice introduction, again, just summating everything we looked at earlier in those high-level policies. And if you continue to scroll down, again, just give you a quick hit and a taste as to the full policies, which we'll jump into in a few moments. So, as we mentioned, the right for affordable food, the fight for a living wage, and then the health care you deserve. And then if we just scroll down, lastly, donations. So between donating here and then donating, which lives prominently at the top of the website, I will make note that donations are open to all. So as little as $5, you can help donate to our campaign so we can get this machine going, because this is officially in campaign season. And our second phase of this campaign run is to get Pastor on the ballot. So we will be starting the process of collecting signatures, but we are also accepting donations to help keep the campaign going. Now, if we just scroll back up, we can jump right into, apologies, if we continue to scroll, one last hit on the home page here is just calling out the man of a great vision. So again, for those who aren't familiar, even before Pastor started, even approached running for mayor, he was already charged with fulfilling visions that he had. And so what we did was we thought it would be nice to capture that here on the page for those who, again, aren't familiar with Pastor and who are coming to learn of him now. They'll be able to see, or you will be able to see, that he's been doing this for a very long time. So this isn't some fly-by-night opportunity for him to take advantage of where he wants to come in and do good for the people. No, the man has been doing this for over 40 years. All right, so that being said, let's jump right into the policies. And I just want to give you a high-level overview of said policies. I'm not going to read through this in detail because there's a lot for you here to digest. So one of the things I want you to walk away from when you view this, when you look at this website, is just to know that this is your major resource or your number one resource to learn anything about this campaign. So if you have any questions or something isn't clear to you, just refer back to this website. And if you have further questions, you're more than welcome to just email us through the contact and we'll get right back to you. So starting with that policy, so again, we want in this section here, we're going into some of the details, more of a deeper dive into those policies we touched on the homepage.
Mr. Engineer,
yes.
You put a picture of the chairman, please, so we can be seen while he's, they can read it with him, but we need to visually see him.
Yeah, thank you. So if we scroll down, starting with our right to affordable food. So here we have highlighted in detail those policies and we illustrate exactly what Pastor is going to do to address those issues that he is tackling within his policies. And again, you're more than welcome to read post this presentation. And as we continue to scroll down, we go into detail on raising the minimum wage. So if we continue to scroll down, fight for a living wage. Because again, if we want to improve the community, if we want people to have better lives, you have to increase their minimum wage, because everyone knows how, exactly, and I agree, everyone knows the cost of living continues to rise, but the salaries don't. So how do you expect people to survive and thrive in an environment when your cost of living is ridiculous, but yet the pay does not reflect that? And so this is a policy I firmly believe that people will, relate to. I, for one, I've been blessed to have a successful career, but even then, I still wince when I look at the cost of items in the store. So it just goes to show that this is a serious issue that needs to be addressed. And if we continue to scroll down. So jumping into health for all, and this is another thing too. If you've ever been in a situation where you had to go to the hospital only to be denied because your health there doesn't cover it, or you just, for whatever reason, you're just denied the service and care that you need, healthcare is very important to everybody here. And I know we've all heard the rhetoric of others, but it hits differently when you hear it from someone who deals with the sick, who deals with people who've gone through ailments, who've had healthcare issues that affected their way of living. And the fact that this man here has addressed those issues without even being a healthcare organization, I think speaks volumes and gives him the leg to stand on, if you will, to talk about these issues and understand where people come from when they go through the problem of just trying to find decent healthcare. And if we continue to scroll down. And then education. So how do you empower the community? You have to educate, the foundation for everything. And so similar to healthcare, we've often heard people talk about, especially when they're running for candidates, what they're going to do for the education, what they're going to do for children. But like I said, it hits differently when you hear it from someone who's actually done something and not even being a part of a political organization. The man has done this on his own through the words of God, and his vision. And so with him in building the school, this gives him the credential to address the issues that education faces in this city. And so what we've done was illustrated that in his policies, but again, as I mentioned earlier, the MAD curriculum, in which we will take a look at, for those who aren't familiar, that is a program, was an innovative way in which he basically took the principles of the Bible and incorporated that into a lesson plan that would actually develop the students. And so it was through that MAD curriculum that we talk about earlier on the site. We talk about graduating people to Yale, to Juilliard, to Cardozo Law. Well, they all came through this curriculum. And so for someone to introduce a platform, if you will, such as that, and to produce the results, I think gives them way more credit and credentials to be able to address education. And so illustrated here, the MAD curriculum, and again, for those who aren't familiar, MAD stands for Memory, Articulation, and Discipline. So we've outlined here on this site those different aspects of the MAD curriculum so you can better familiarize yourself with them, but then also get a better understanding as how something or a curriculum or a foundation such as this can possibly be implemented through the education system here in New York City, because again, it has produced, we have the receipts, if you will, and I firmly believe this is a sound education platform to build off of. And it's one of the main reasons we've included on this website. And then lastly, unwavering commitment. So if we go to unwavering commitment, so this, why we have this here on this site? The reason we put this here is because we wanted to paint sort of a timeline of events, if you will, that Pastor has committed himself to. You often hear a lot of people talk about things that they've done, but again, I want to see it, like show me the receipts. And so that's what the genesis of this section of the site is to illustrate and paint a picture for you through a timeline of things that Pastor has done. So, educating the youth of New York City. So as I mentioned with the MAD curriculum, this isn't some fly-by-night thing of him wanting to get in and rescue the city's education system. He's been doing this since day one, rescuing children, if you will, children who come from broken homes, children who were kicked out of schools because of their behavior. He's taken them in, welcomed them in, him and the staff, reformed those students, and again, graduated students who then went on to prestigious high schools and prestigious careers. Following that, if we scroll down, housing the homeless. And this, I'm going to keep saying this till I'm blue in the face, but again, you hear a lot of people talking about these things. They sit here and advocate, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do when I get into office. Well, these are things that he has done already, and that's why they're here. So housing the homeless. In this very building I'm presenting you from, we've housed the homeless. Even before my time when I came to this ministry, the doors have been a revolving doors to the homeless, any and everyone who've been in any situation, from drug addicts to people kicked out of their homes, to people who just got out of prison. They've came through this door. And so this man here and the staff before him have worked tirelessly to help these people, get them back on their feet. And so electing this man to president, he's just going to do what he's been doing, but on a much larger scale. And I said president, getting ahead of myself. But the mayor, we got to start. We got to crawl before we walk. All right. And then feeding the hungry. Again, this is something that we continue to do to this very day with the breakfast program. It's a revolving door open to every and anyone, new to America, immigrants, just came here, no place to go, they come here to eat. People, again, out of prison, homeless, they come here to eat. Revolving door of just welcoming in families and any and everyone who are just looking for a hot meal and a place to eat. And so, feeding the hungry here, again, is not a bullet point for him or just what we do here at the church. It's not a bullet point we just sit here and get in and talk about. It's something we've been doing for years, and it's something we continue to do. And if you do not believe me, you can come here 5 days a week, 7 o'clock in the morning, and you can get in line yourself if you want to taste the food. So, again, not a bullet point, a selling point. This is an actual reality in which he is doing now. Creating jobs for the unemployed. So before COVID hit, and there was a period where it was just unemployment was just off the roof. And so Pastor stood up here and he made a declaration, I'm going to do something about it. You have countless organizations of people who are trying to do stuff about getting jobs for people, but a lot of them tends to be just talk. And for me personally, as someone who has witnessed this firsthand, I'm always amazed at what he is able to do and what he has done with the very limited resources he has. And so something as monumentous as creating jobs for the unemployed, we opened the doors, welcomed in people, didn't care about your background, helped to train those people, and it's just in the feeding them. We helped to train those people, again, to get them back on their feet and to prepare them to go back out there and continue to get the jobs that they seek and even better. And so when I stand here before you and talk about this, and when you see this on the site, don't think this is just another selling a bullet point to get you to vote for him or anything or donate money. These are things that he's actually done, and these are things that he continues to do. And you can come in here and check anytime you want to see that everything you see here is very factual. And so we wanted to highlight, the creative team and I, we wanted to make sure we highlighted these things on the website. So if you aren't familiar with the pastor, the man here who is running for mayor, or even if you are familiar, this is a nice refresher, but this is a great starting point for you to get to know the man that who will be mayor. And so you know this isn't someone who's just up here trying to sell you on promises or the hopes and dreams so you can get him into office. This is someone who's actually done something. This is someone who's actually doing something with very limited resources. So for me, I can only imagine what he can do when he has adequate resources. So that being said, I've done advocating for him, but it has been a pleasure working on this site, working with the team. Earlier he talked about talent. He talks about professionalism. I've been very impressed with the team that I've had to work with. This was a lot of information. It was so many things that we wanted to capture on this site. So I hope as you congregation, those are abroad looking virtually, as you come to the website, you learn about the man here. Just understand that everything you read here is not a selling point, is not a bullet point to get him into the office. This is things that he has done, things that he continues to do. So just know that when you commit either your donation resources or your signatures to help us get on the ballot, just know and understand what that is going for. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your commitment in signing or getting him on the ballot. We appreciate everything. And we hope that you walk away from viewing this website and reading the content, and we hope you walk away and understanding that everything you read here is just a stomped down truth, as he likes to say. And we look forward to continuing this campaign. So as I said, we're in the second phase now. We're on the road to get to the ballot. And so this website is integral in helping to inform everyone about the man you see before you. And as I mentioned before, we are accepting donations for the campaign. And just for security reasons, so you don't think there's any funny business going on, what you see before you is the contribution. This is where we accept donations. It is through the New York City Votes organization, so it is a legit means of accepting digital donations. So you can donate anywhere from as little as $5 to $175. Any donation is appreciated and welcome, and just know that your money is going to a great cause. Peace.
God bless you. Great job. Great job. Praise the applause. What a great job. What a great job, what a great talent, what a great marketing. As you know, that's his profession for years. And now I'm one of his products. So, but what a great marketing. What a great website that we have. I've looked at other websites. This thing is really very powerful. And thank you, team, as well, for working with him and meeting all of his demands to put together this website for us. I'm thinking maybe he should run for mayor rather than myself, because he seems uber qualified to be able to do so. And maybe he will one day, or president for that matter, since president slipped out of his mouth and fell on your ears a few moments ago. Give him one more round of applause. I'm just thankful. This is a very talented house. There's no doubt about it, as we said earlier. And the fact that God's brought all of us together as such to do the things that he's called us to do. I feel very confident having Elder Flannery running ahead of me. I understand we have a meeting with the Republican Party in Queens sometime maybe next week, I'm not sure. Speaking at Hunter University or Hunter College or whatever it is, I'll be speaking there. And he's running ahead of me doing all of these, setting up all these things. I feel so confident that I'm going to be presented and represented the exact right way. So it's just a real blessing. And the fact he pointed out as well, something perhaps I had not thought about in that regard, was that what you see on that website is not bullet points. All these things I've done. I've done it for 1 year, just started. For 40 years I've been housing homeless people, educating people. It's just something I'm thinking about doing. And that's why I guess Eric said that I'm best qualified, because most of these people are talking about if they get in the office, they'll do it. We've already done it. I want to ask one thing of you, and that is this, is that if you will consider, because people are going to start coming to the ministry. A woman called Elizabeth the other day and said she's been listening to me since 2008. And through the Obama years, she hated everything I said. Somebody tried to tell her I was telling the truth, but she didn't want to listen. So finally, she's joined the church because she realized what I have been saying for these 17 years. Those things are true. And not just that, but other people are going to come to this ministry. We had a strange group of visitors in here on New Year's night taking pictures of me. I want to ask you to polish yourselves up. And I'm not saying this because you're out of sync, but we're getting ready to take on high-level positions, and we're taking on high-level authorities. And you need to polish yourself as much as you possibly can. When the Lord said to me earlier today, this morning, that people who don't want to give of themselves, people that are selfish, they think that I'm chastising them or rebuking them because they only think about themselves. But I'm not doing that. I'm just preaching what any person of God will do if you're truly called of God. You will give of yourself, you will serve, and you will preach righteousness. But we need to think about how we can increase ourselves. What is it about you that you need to disembark yourself from you, so that when the press comes to this house, or when other people come to this house because they are drawn by the magnetism of the beauty of God, that you will not be a stumbling block to that process, that you'll be in the flow of the vision of the pastor completely. And one of the ways you say, well, Pastor, I'm not educated, I'm not this or that. I can tell you this, all you have to do is just release yourself to what I'm saying. Just obey it, whether you understand it or not. Just do it. And what you will be doing is not what you know, because that's what you rely upon now. Do what I tell you to do, and you'll look like a genius. You'll look like a saint if you'll just do what I tell you to do. And so we'll then be able to capture the city through the processes that God would have us to be able to. When we first started our ministry, Elder, the generous servant Hartfield, used to be our audio man. He used to run a little what was that? The Radio Shack box is what he used to run. Then I put Bennett on it. Bennett said, I don't know nothing about no Radio Shack. I don't know nothing about no audio. I said, go up there and do it anyway. And she did. And that's all we ever have to do. So please make note of that. Will you do that?